Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is Harry from Hotspur TV, and I'm back with Harry Scarf for another preview show. Hey, Harry, you right?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Good to be here. 3 wins in a row, and we'll be discussing the Brighton game. So hopefully we can make that 4. We've got a lot of team news that came out of Postecoglou's press conference today. So looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, actually, Marlon just messaged me ironically that he was talking. I think we're getting to. I actually went on a stadium tour today, which was quite interesting. So I don't know if you saw my.
Please don't be our manager, though.
Yeah. All right, so I think we'll start with Everton because we haven't actually spoken on this channel since that game.
No, we haven't.
Your thoughts on the Everton performance, Harry? Did you go or not? I can't remember.
No, I didn't go. I let my little brother go as an early kind of Christmas present. So my thoughts on the Everton game from what I've heard and what I've seen from highlights, match of the day, etc. And reading reports, etc. So basically, very strong in the first half, very good. Maybe could have been out of sight, but again, it's a game of two halves. You can't seem to perform consistently for 90 minutes. Being honest with you, if I put my Spurs bias to a side, I think Everton are unlucky to come out of that game with nothing. We see towards the end, Danjuma, it's an immense save from Vicaria. There's so many chances. Calvert-Lewin's goal, should it have been disallowed? We'll come on to it, but I think it's debatable. So from an Everton point of view, they're very unlucky. They showed good fight, and I believe that they'll definitely be okay. Not convincing for us. Again, better opposition, and we throw that lead away. So big tests against Brighton away. Yeah, they've got their injury problems, but they're still going strong in Europe. They're top 4 still. I think the top 6, 7 this year, in and around maybe where we want to be. So we've got big teams around us, and another one is Brighton.
I was going to ask you because obviously you're one of those people who said that we should really be beating Dyche's team quite comfortably. Were you surprised at how kind of easy we let them back into the game though? Because we were 2-0 up, and I think we probably could have made it a bit more even. And then we kind of just relaxed after the first half hour, which I don't know whether that was tactical because we are playing tomorrow, or whether it was just the players being just too relaxed, or which is something I've criticised players for all season, if I'm being honest with you. So what do you think happened? Because the first 30 minutes we were brilliant, and then after that, I think it was just all Everton, really.
Well, answering your question, am I surprised? No. We tried to do the same against Forest. We done the same against Chelsea. Basuma tried it against Luton, getting sent off, going down to 10 men. So I think, it's not a surprise to me, really. And the, fair play to Everton, the fight they showed, I think it's what we expected. Just the worrying thing is that if that's Man City, they turn the game on its head. That's Arsenal, they turn the game on its head. At this moment in time, our performances just simply aren't good enough with or without the players we've got available. We've had tough time, maybe even the hardest time through injury. We've been unlucky. I think De Zerbi, with Brighton today, for example, in his press conference, recognised that despite all the injuries that Brighton had, he said that Tottenham have it tough, etc. It's good to see Postecoglou not kind of making a big thing of it. I think he's treating it the right way. I don't really know what it's down to. It's something that we've always kind of had. We can't play two halves. We haven't done that a lot this season. I'm trying to think of one game and really struggling to find, full 90 minutes that we've played well. So, and for me, it's a concern. Burnley's probably the closer you get to it. It was an awful start to that game. So, not good performances consistently. That's the worry.
But I think the question, I may have phrased it a bit wrong, but do you think that it's to do with tiredness that they're stopping to play and they're trying to conserve energy? Or do you think it's mentality? Or do you think it's just the other teams sussed us out? Or what do you think the reason is?
No, I think it's the fact, Ange Ball is quite high demanding. We saw it.
That's what I mean. It's like the intensity of it.
The intensity. Of course. Yeah, of course it is. But I also think it's a mentality thing. We talk about, are the game's over? Got 3 games, the space of 9 days. It's Christmas coming up. Let's take it easy. Kind of thing. So I think it's a mentality thing that's been there for a while, but I also think Ange's system is demanded, and we haven't had that luxury of being able to rotate because the players we've got out. And in January is an opportunity to do this, and with players like Van der Ven coming back in the first couple of weeks of January. So there is a lot to kind of look forward to, hopefully, if it goes to plan. But yeah, it's down to a couple of things. One's being tiredness.
Because Another thing I've noticed people say that this Spurs team reminds them a lot of the early Liverpool days under Klopp. Now, Klopp's Liverpool
Yeah.
took about between 3 years or 4 years before they won something? I can't remember. And they also got to finals and stuff like that in the meantime. But until they went that January or that year where they bought Van Dijk and Alisson and Keita, and they really kind of bolstered their squad and kind of obviously made the two big signings and then also sprinkled it with very good squad players like Keita in his time at Liverpool was actually all right. And this is one example off the top of my head. Do you think we'll struggle with this next season? Because if without the depth, how are we going to cope with the same intensity? Because Liverpool always used to run out of steam, I remember, during the early Klopp years. Like, they would play really good games and they just run out of steam due to the intensity of the game.
The worrying thing for me now is the fact we're not in Europe, and with the injuries we've got, obviously I have my suspicions, etc. But we've seen it all around the Premier League. I think it's like to do with the added time, etc. But generally, we've got lots of injuries, and we're struggling to put a solid 90 minutes of good performance in, and that's I can accept that because Postecoglou's football is demanding. However, West Ham's a prime example to me. Whereas first half you play like the team where we want to get to, that can and hopefully will win trophies. I think that has the potential to do that. And we saw a second half that looked like, Torquay United could beat. So, it's a real worry to see how big of a difference there is. We saw that under Mourinho, for me, Conte, and especially Pochettino towards the end. You don't mind it that second half. You put the foot off the gas, but we got control of the game. But against West Ham, we let them back into it. Two errors, for example. So, Everton, we let them back into it. Poor defending from a corner. Yeah, we'll take a goal, but we nearly let them back into it. Poor defending towards the end as well. And we just about held out. So, again, you add another 10 minutes onto that, and we could even lose the game. So, for me, it's a bit of a worry with Europe coming up. But this is what January's for. Postecoglou's, if Ange believes in Postecoglou, I don't know. Believe. Crikey. If Levy believes in Postecoglou, like the majority of us do, then he has to show that in January. Because for me, I've always said January transfer window is, for me, as important, if not more important, than the summer, because January is the game changer for your season. Whether it's disaster or it could be saved. It may not be a great season, but it could be recovered. Because not being funny, if we get January right, we can still finish inside the top four. If it goes wrong, then we could drop out of Europe altogether. For me, it's that important, the players we get in, because if we fail to bring anyone in, especially in that defence, that centre-back area, and we force Van der Ven back too quickly, when Romero's back, we force him back too quickly, then that's going to lead to more injuries.
I think we did that with Bentancur. In my opinion, we did that with Bentancur. I was one of those few people who didn't want to play him that day. I'd rather avoid Højbjerg. I know Højbjerg was a lot worse. But
we done it too quickly, but I think that was a really bad tackle by an individual who knew what he was doing. Yeah. But however, maybe it should have been suspected because he'd done it before, apparently, to Doherty, Lascelles, and other players. So he definitely should have been bought off earlier in that game, as it is, yes. So you've got to be careful with bringing players back, especially Van der Ven with a hamstring injury. Can you imagine if he goes out again? Another hamstring injury, it'd be longer. So that is, for me, the real issue. I can't express the importance of January. Again, it's not the numbers. I'm not asking to bring 4, 5, 6 players in, even 3 players, maybe a bit of a push. It's about the quality over quantity. And the board have got to prove why they're here, etc. Jonathan Large has got just to prove he's worth his wages, and the recruitment's got to be spot on.
Good point. So I just want to bring up a few points. We'll go on. I think if we were 4-0 up against Everton, I kind of understand it, but 2-0 is still quite an open match, especially with only like 40 minutes gone, 30, 40 minutes gone. And there were times when we made Dwight McNeil look like Ronaldo. See, like Andre Gomez, who hadn't scored a goal since May 2022, by the way, scored one and then got one disallowed, which is
We did with Michael Keane last season, didn't we? I think never scored a goal for Everton, and then we let him score.
I thought Emerson was really lucky, if I'm being honest with that.
Who?
Emerson with that push, I thought was very lucky to get disallowed.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Very lucky for me.
I don't know how they gave that because it was very soft. I think Emerson kind of got himself out of jail in that one. Okay, so we are right, Harry. We do have some injury news. Not good ones, though. Let's start with Romero. So he's out for 4 to 5 weeks. Obviously, he also said, Ange said that Van der Ven should be back by Man United, which, don't get me wrong, we could be back by Man United. It's the second week of January, the 14th. Apparently Burnley's too soon for him. Obviously, Maddison and Bentancur probably around the same timeline, about end January. Maybe it'll be end of January, I don't know. But with Romero being injured, and both our central centre-backs out. Also, Brian Degg will make a very good point actually on Twitter, or actually maybe not on Twitter, but he told me that all our vice captains and captains are injured now or are away because Son's going to go to the obviously the thing in January. So with Romero injured, what kind of defense do you want to put out? Who would you play?
I think it's more of a case. I think you need to reword that
Emerson's right now. It's a good question because Emerson's playing left back, but Udogie is coming back, so you'd imagine that'll go back to normal.
It's not a case of who I want. It's who have we got. What can we possibly do?
Yeah.
So, do you want me to talk you through the team?
What would you do? Yeah.
Generalize.
Well, no, to speak about what we do with the Romero thing, and then we'll do the team later on. Don't worry.
Romero is a big blow. I think that if I can take one small positive out of it, maybe he can think and work how to improve his game on the liability type of thing. Go away, watch the likes of Van Dijk, Saliba, and watch how they don't lose their head, and that's why Liverpool and Arsenal are ultimately the top two in the league at the moment, something like that. But all jokes aside, Romero, his ability speaks for itself on the pitch. It's a massive miss. It was a worry when he came off at half time, against Everton, because he is that type of person. You get that impression that he's only going to come off if he's really hurt. He'll want to crack on. So that was a concern to see him come off. And 4 to 5 weeks is not what we needed right now. So yeah, not good news at all. Not a good start to the morning here and that in Ange's press conference. Just past 5:11. Davis obviously for me keeps his place that left centre back, Udogie because he comes back. The right centre back, Dyer, no disrespect, as I said before, doesn't suit the system. So for me in this, you play Emerson right centre back. I don't really like the idea of that. I think Emerson will struggle up against Welbeck, Pedro. I think it'd be a bit too much for him. I'd be tempted to look to Phillips or Dorrington, not both, but one, to Tottenham Davis. But again, you don't want to chop and change too much again because it's hard. Vicario's got to get used to this defence, and if he's changing all the time, so we just want a little bit of consistency. So maybe it is best to stick with Emerson, but it's not good news.
On Scott's comment, Scott, there's the Asia Cup in January, so that's why I brought up the Son thing.
There's an African Cup of Nations, isn't there?
No, but Son's got the Asia Cup. So he'll be gone for I don't know how long, because most likely they'll be going, what's the word? He'll be out for a while because they'll probably go far Korea. Yeah.
More than likely.
More than likely, yeah, they'll probably win it. But no, I'm not hoping he gets injured. I'm just saying he's not going to be here in January. It's nothing to do with me.
So it could be potentially February.
Yeah. And is it the whole month? Do you know the Asia Cup?
It's the Asian Cup. So basically, I think the final goes up until, I think it's the finals around the 2nd of February. So it does go into February, and it is that whole month.
Oh, wow.
But
okay.
You could come back before we get halfway through January. It just really depends how far Son is, for me, going to be the one who's going to be away for that whole period of time.
Not Son, Richarlison. Okay, I want to talk about this. Richarlison's turned in form. Now, Richarlison's got 4 goals in his last 3 games. What's his name? Son even came out and said yesterday saying that he should be aiming for at least 15 goals in the Premier League this season. Now, I guess he's probably the starting striker for us, if I'm being honest. Do you think Richarlison can churn out those goals? And now the reason I bring this up is because of what Scott's comment was. Son is going to be out in January. So we're going to have to rely on Richarlison to get most of our goals, if we're being honest. So can he carry the burden? I think that's
listen, ultimately, he's in amazing form at the moment, right? In the last 3-4 games. I hate that people say, he has to score 20 goals a season now. He has to fill in for Son. Or he has to do this, right? Okay, you were the same people who were saying, get out.
He couldn't hit a barn door, yeah.
He could hit a barn door. I could score, my nan could score, that kind of thing. So for me, I don't jump to conclusions. He's done well, hit a good patch of form. If he can realistically score 15 goals in the league, league, I'll be very happy, or 15 in all competitions. But it's not all about goals in Ange's system. Ange will tell you himself if someone actually asked him the question. It's about contributing to the team, putting the hard work in, which Richarlison's ultimately done. And that's why even when he wasn't scoring goals, he was still picked. But it's great to see him now. Not being funny, but I loved him. But at the start of the season, what was off was his first touch, and he couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. There was chances that he should have took, but he didn't. And he's now doing that and probably scoring when he has no right to either. And he's scoring against Everton, etc. He's done really well recently, and I want this to continue. And with our injury problems, his form couldn't have come at a better time.
I knew Scott would say something like that.
Yeah. I'd keep him regardless. Whether Richarlison's scoring or not, I keep him or not. Really key squad player, can play multiple positions, as I said before, and it's just that player you need if you want to progress. You want to get into Europe, which is our aim, especially the Champions League. But he's doing really well at the moment. I believe we can do it, and I don't think we should prioritise a striker. And I've always said that if we go out there and sign Solanke or Tony, absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to say no to that, but I want us to go out there and sign at least one top quality centre back. Completely agree with you this morning, House, that I saw that. I was actually going to put something out similar. Mm-hmm. So it's great to see someone else say that about, we need to get it done first week or so, January, get him through the door. Preparation
especially with Romero's injury, that's why I brought it up, because it's like,
it should be done now. But Richarlison, I've full faith in him, and he can deliver. He just, for me, patience is needed with him. He might go on a goal drought, every striker does, but he's proven now that he's got the quality. He's done it at Watford and Everton. Tottenham fans, I think some have a short memory, but they've proven to them with a short memory that he can score goals. He is very important to this team. That's why Ange is playing. If you don't like it, see, this is the thing, right? People love Ange, but they don't like Richarlison. Well, Ange has seen something in Richarlison. Yeah. We all can see it. He's scoring goals. Don't like it, then maybe Spurs isn't for you. But yeah, love Richarlison.
I just feel like if he gets 15 goals, I deserve an apology from a lot of people. But I think different thing with Richarlison and Son is Son does offer us obviously something different up front, but with Richarlison you have more to hit. So I think there's more of an out ball. With Son, I know they both score, I would say goals on a plate on the most part. Like you wouldn't see Richarlison and Son really create their own chances as much. Maybe the old Son would, but this Son up front doesn't really do that. He doesn't have the speed. He's still fast, but he doesn't have the same quality, I don't think, as he had a few years ago, if we're being honest. And which is why I think he's kind of been converting roles in the system. Like with Richarlison in the team, he's probably been told just put crosses in rather than, he used to do his cut in under Poch, used to cut in and shoot a lot. He's kind of been told to do like one or two jobs, one of the two rather than both, because he maybe doesn't have the energy and the legs for it anymore. I don't know. I've noticed that a lot though. But do you think with Son going, because I've mentioned Son actually assisting Richarlison a lot, since he's going to Asia Cup, do you think we can have someone to fill in on that side? Because Kulusevski, I'd imagine, will play on the right. Or Johnson.
Who did you say fill in on the left, sorry? Who did you say fill in on the left when Son's not here?
Yeah, who would you put on the left?
I haven't thought about it. I'm trying to worry about our centre-back issues at the moment. Wow. Good question.
It's a good question because Solomon's still out, I think. And then you've got... You've got on the left, you can play Kulusevski on the left because he's been playing this 10 so far, and then Johnson probably on the right.
But again, amount of midfielders that we lose potentially, Basuma, Sarr, etc. Ben's course still out injured. Then
Sarr's going to be massive miss,
It's going to be absolutely massive, absolutely huge. So I want to keep Kulusevski in that number 10 role again. I don't want a whole new midfield if we have to. For me, it's got to be Gil on the left.
We've got no other options, really.
Hey.
We've got no other options, really, do we?
Gil and Gil.
Lo Celso, unless you put Lo Celso wide, I don't know.
No, I can't see it. But again, does Ange adapt? Does he change his system? I don't think so. But
I don't think he will change his system.
I would, but he wouldn't. So interchange Gil and Kulusevski. Yeah, maybe put Kulusevski on the left, Johnson on the right, Charleston down the middle. But then what does your midfield three look like?
Then here's your number 10.
Højbjerg, Skip. I know it doesn't sound great, but I suppose it's better than nothing. That's where you got to look at it the moment.
No, because obviously we have him for the next game or two. I don't know when do you know when he leaves? Do you know when this player leaves that? Do you know we've got a game on New Year's Eve? Are the players going to play the last game? Do you know?
It should do. Yeah, I think and then the next morning they go on a flight. Yeah, they won't be available for Man United, and they won't be available. I wouldn't have thought for Burnley either, but Bournemouth, I think so. Yeah, pretty sure.
So just summarize his points. Do you think he can carry this on for the rest of the season? We've still got half a season left. As long as he stays fit, of course, we'll trust.
Yeah, I have full faith in him, and not being funny, but we both always have done, and I think that people need to recognise that every player goes through a tough time, and a lot of people saying that he wasn't injured last season. Well, look how much his mental health issues.
Son was injured last season as well.
Yeah, and not being funny. Whether we think that these players should be at our football club anymore, I think that they both should be. But I know other people's opinions differ, and that's fine. So it makes the fan base is so unique. But you've got to all understand that just because Son had a bad season last season doesn't mean he's washed or he's finished, right? Because he's come back this season, in a different position at times and looked really good. Hat-trick against Burnley, playing as number 9, for example, can play on the left, scores goals, contributes to the team. Richarlison's now doing that. So, they're at the club for a reason. They've been picked for a reason. Richarlison, I think he can score 15, 20 goals comfortably, to be fair. But if he doesn't, I'm not going to get on his back. If he scores 5 more goals for the rest of the season, okay, it is what it is. But I still think you're the right man to deliver for the club, because I believe that...
Do you think this is his chance, Harry? Do you think this is with Son going, AFCON?
Can I be honest with you? I think he's already taken that chance. I think his place is secure. Well, we forget January a minute where Son goes. Even when he comes back, when Solomon comes back, when we have a fully fit squad, I still think Richarlison has his place at this moment in time locked in the team unless anything changes. Because why would you take him out of the team? He's scoring, he's assisting, he's contributing, he's got a smile on his face, he's playing well. What more could you possibly ask for? He's doing up and beyond, more than his job requires him to. I think his place is absolutely locked in. So and he's got, of course, keep these performances up. But for me, he's taken the chance already, which is great.
Interesting. So I'm going to talk a bit about the January window at first, just on the game. Brighton have been quite inconsistent this season. I don't know if you've seen any of their matches, but
I have, yeah.
Last season, just to remind you, we went there, we won 1-0 under Conte, which was quite a scrappy win.
Can I be honest? I don't know how we won that game.
Yeah, I don't know either, because they dominated us.
Don't know how. They were flying, Brighton. We were awful. Brighton were flying. They were the better team, and we somehow won 1-0.
With all these injuries, Harry, and, that obviously potentially some players on there going, where do you see this game going in terms of just in general? Do you see us winning comfortably? Do you see it being a tough game? Especially after the Everton match, I'm not quite confident going into this.
Well, we won. No, but seriously, listen, with Brighton, I think it's a case of the first goal again. I know I said against Everton, and I still stand by that. With Brighton as well, the first goal is massive because Brighton, they want the ball under De Zerbi. De Zerbi's way of playing is very unique, but if they go 1-0 down, it's a problem for them. What do they do? And, Brighton have got injury problems of their own. Let's be very clear here. They've got Enciso out, for example. Big one today, Mitoma is a big miss. I think that kind of almost counteracts the absence of Romero. Obviously, they have got Ferguson back, but for me, not fully match fit. So that is a weakened Brighton squad. They're not in as things stand. They would have thought, let's just be clear, they're not in a disastrous position, etc. They're not where they would have wanted to be come the start of the season, but they've progressed into Europe. They've got into the knockouts, which, for them is an amazing achievement. Europa League as well. I think they have a serious chance of winning it. They suffered injury problems. The January transfer windows coming up where they can really invest. I think top 6 is still realistic. These players will come back. They're improving January. So I think Brighton's still in a very strong position to even finish above us. So I think if we can beat them, obviously that's a massive help. It's going to be a really tough game. It's going to be, for me, like I said, it could be one where it's going to be lots of chances in the game, but it's a case of can both teams take their chances? Can the defence hold out? Because both have struggled defensively this season, understandably, with the way both managers like to set up their teams. So it's really interesting. It's going to be, for me, a top game for the neutrals. Could go either way.
And I think it's on Amazon Prime at 7:30 tomorrow.
Yeah. Prime Video once a year. Yeah.
So do you think we'll scrape? I'll get a score prediction later, but do you think it'll be like a very scrappy game? You don't think it'll be quite an easy win for us?
No, I think it'll be a good game to watch, but I don't think that it'll be plain sailing. I mean, I don't want to give too much away in my prediction, but I don't think it'll be easy at all. I always say this every game. I think we should have hopefully enough to potentially win the game, but we're going to have to be again at our very best. If we play like that in the second half against Everton, then we lose this game. It's simple. Brighton need a good result. Going into the new year, Brighton fans, they need something to lift them. They're in this situation now where they're kind of sitting, 9th, 10th. They need a result. They're not really going anywhere in the league. They want a statement, right? And by beating someone who's already been top of the league this season, big top 4 contender, that is sending out a statement. And Brighton, what they've done last season, they put out a load of statements. They beat Newcastle, beat Man United, to put out a statement to go, look, we're serious this year. For example, 3-3 at Anfield, crazy things like that. So I think that Brighton will be looking for a statement, and they will know it won't be easy. So I'm honestly really looking forward to how it's going out. I don't often say that with the Tottenham game at the moment, with all our injury problems, going, oh God, I'm dreading this. I want to get it over and done with. But this is going to be 2 excellent stars of football. Credit to both managers going at it. They've both got injury problems, but I think it's going to be a fantastic watch. Hard to call.
Do you think it might be a game where he rotates some players if we can?
Who? For me, like I said, can I talk you through my team?
Hold on. Before we go on that, I just want to touch on because I'm going to save that to near the end.
Okay.
Because we're halfway through January window. Okay. With Romero's injury, obviously, we're going to need to dip into the transfer market regardless. How many players do you see us signing, Harry? And which players? And do you think it'll be done early or late? Because, Levy historically does it late. But with Romero's injury, do you think it'll accelerate the move?
Yeah, we've got to. If we had a fully fit squad and we're top of the league, then I think there'll be no real urgency. That's not the way I'd look at it. I want to improve to get us over the line, but I think that's the way that a general football club board would look at it. But yeah, of course, they'll be looking now. I would believe I reckon they've got a list together of who they want, especially centre-backs, and they would just pick out their number 1 or number 2 and really give it everything they've got to go at it. So I'm looking forward in a way to see how it unfolds. For me, I think we signed 2 players. I've said for me, looking at January transfer window, personally, I want one, ideally at least one top quality centre back. That is my priority. If we get that through the door, get a load of players out the door, off the books, the Dyers, your Sessegnons, etc., skip for me as well, then I wouldn't be happy with that. And that people say that's one player, but it doesn't mean we go inside Lloyd Kelly and I'm happy and that's my January transfer window, right? I'm talking a top centre back. So my ideal window personally would look like, I can say his name again. I can't help it. Tosin Adebayo.
I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, coming in the door. I'd like to see, for example, if possible, Ndombele is obviously still on loan. I don't know if we can kind of sell him in January or we have to wait to the summer, etc. But don't want him back. Let's be very clear. I think selling the likes of Spence needs to be done. Like I listed players earlier.
Spence is out on loan, correct if I'm wrong.
Spence is out on loan, so maybe in agreement with that club, an option to buy, etc. But we need to get players out the door in January. The Dyers, the Sessegnons, the Reece is another one that I forgot. So that's a very key part of the January transfer window. We can bring 2 centre-backs in, great, but realistically, one. You've got Adebayo, you've got Tabibo, who's been linked, etc. And if a left-back is another potential option, because Davies can't play there, so if we can get another left-back. But as long as we bring, and I mean quality, ready-to-go centre-back, and we get players out the door, I'm happy. So my standards aren't up here.
So the centre-halves we've been linked with, for anyone watching, I read was Tosin, of course. No, not Tosin, sorry. Todibo, not Tosin. Tosin, I think, is on the list as well. Mark Guehi of Palace was apparently deemed too expensive. Ben Godfrey is another one that they're looking at. And obviously the Everton centre-half that I've been raving about, Branthwaite. And I'm even more
convinced. No chance he's going, but I'd love it to happen.
But the thing is, apparently he's a long-term target. But I want to make a point about Branthwaite. I think we need to pick him up soon because if we leave it another year, I think someone else bigger could pick him up. Aruna Sangand. Is he a centre-back? Who's news? I've never heard of him. Okay. Tell something about him because I don't know. But I think a centre half is literally
Oh, and yeah, I've heard of him. He was.
Yeah.
I only saw the links yesterday, but again, he had a man of the match performance for Lee Harvey, as it says there, and his last match. Not being funny, anyone who's doing well at the moment is going to be linked with Tottenham. If you're a journalist, you're looking for anything, they know that Tottenham need a centre back. Not being funny. So for me, it's just getting someone who's ready to go to Bebo. My worry is he ready to go now? I don't think so. So that's a sign, and I'd wait personally for the summer. But with Romero now being injured, do we go out there and sign 2 centre backs? Maybe. Do we do Adebayo and Lloyd Kelly, or people want that to Bebo, but Kelly is a backup in case Tadebo isn't ready or he gets injured? For me, it's just got a plan for that worst case scenario. So actually sitting here right now, 2 centre backs, one of real quality, and getting players out the door, I think is a realistic aim that the club can share.
But I think the reason I brought up Braithwaite is because if we're looking for things long term, I think we need to move for him now. Because I think in a year's time, he could go up to like 80 million.
40, 50 million price tag on him already. But if you think he's young, etc., maybe he could have 100 million price tag in the summer. So if you look at it like that, has in yes. But
I just think he's going to go up in price the longer we leave it.
I agree, but they're looking at Lloyd Kelly and going, we can probably get you. I don't know.
Here's a different situation because he's seen as more as like I hate to use this word, utility player, I think, because he can play left back, right back.
Yeah, of course. But if you're Daniel Levy for a minute, right? Put yourself in his shoes for a second. If I said to you, sorry, if you'd rather
so get some money out.
Yeah, to be funky. Would you rather sign, putting your love, etc., and thoughts of Braithwaite behind for a second, would you rather sign Braithwaite for 50, 60 million? Let's say sign Kelly for under 30 million. And Kelly, right, can play multiple positions. He has more Premier League experience, and he can technically cast your left back, your right back, your centre back, etc. Can pretty much play anywhere.
You know who he's going to want. You already answered my question.
From a business point of view, you go with Kelly. But if you have,
there's no way we can see this though, Harry, because like I said, Braithwaite's price is only going to go up because if you buy him now,
But can he play Andrew's system? Because obviously, it's a huge difference to Sean Dyche. Does he have the pace?
I don't think he's that much different. I know they don't play a high line, but from what I saw, even close up, obviously I've been seeing him play for them.
Does Braithwaite have the pace? He has the agility. He has the physicality.
I think he has enough pace. If you look at Romero, I don't think there's that much difference in terms of his pace. But this guy he reminds me of like a throwback old school centre half. That's probably why I really like him. I don't think. How about Godfrey? Do you like Godfrey at all or not? Do you think he's?
I like Godfrey at Norwich, but it's a case of the.
No. He's at Everton, Ben Godfrey, isn't he?
Yeah, but he used to. He used
at Norwich. He's been Norwich.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be a good buy or not? Because he hasn't really played that much recently.
He's going to be rusty. So again, he's a player that in the summer, if Andrew wants to spend the summer with him, get him back into fitness, and again, it'd be a very clever signing from the club because Godfrey has played left back, he's played right back, he's played centre back. He can play anywhere across that back line, that back four, etc. I don't know. I don't think it'd be cheap. I think it'd be around the Lloyd Kelly kind of 25, 30 million.
I think it'll be about that as well. I think Braithwaite's probably the most expensive. That's not what I'm going for him. I'm just saying that.
At the end of the day, right? Yeah. This is why I make it really important. I said 2 centre backs, right? Yeah. One of real quality, but Godfrey is like the second centre back. In a worst case scenario, because we've got both our centre backs injured, right? And we don't really, no disrespect to any of the centre backs that we're seeing now in Dyer, Emerson, and Davis. I think Davis in particular, fantastic job. Emerson as well when he's called upon. People don't like to admit it, but I think Dyer as well, in particular when he's coming off the bench. I think he's like Chelsea. I thought was really good, etc. Everton, I think was okay. So they've done a good job, but we know that we need better if we want to push on and get inside the top 4. So that's why for me, we're looking at. I'd bring Adebayo and Godfrey, and Adebayo and Kelly in January, then look to Godfrey in the summer and look at Tadebo in the summer, because we don't want as a case of what we've seen in recent years where we end up with so many centre backs and none of real quality, because Kelly and Godfrey, they're not going to get in Real Madrid's team, are they? Do you know what I mean? They're not. Whereas Van der Ven and Romero had a high chance of doing it.
That's the reason why I'm kind of reluctant on getting players like Lloyd Kelly and Godfrey, because I think them as just squad players.
Look at what Man United have done with Johnny Evans. Not being funny, that's really clever. We need something like that.
But he's one signed on experience. Lloyd Kelly, would you classify as someone who signed for experience or not? I don't know. I think Johnny Evans is a very special example to use, because I want to go down that route in the summer, Harry, and get someone like Otamendi in to calm down Romero, because Otamendi plays with Romero.
don't think Otamendi's a calming player, but I know what you mean. They play alongside.
I think because they play alongside each other, so I thought maybe because for Argentina he doesn't seem to do this rash stuff. I don't know why.
Listen, I've had my fair dig at Romero, and I think the majority of it is correct. Not to say correct, but I think it's fair. However, I think that it's clear to see for Argentina, and when Valverde's next to him, he doesn't make these rash decisions. Doesn't make it right what he's doing, but I think he feels a lack of trust around him. I think it's helped Vicario, really good signing, excellent piece of business. From the club, etc. So that was really good and great to see. I think that's been a big factor. But not being funny, if you have an unnatural centre back next to you, whether it's Emerson, whether it's Dyer, whether it's Davis, as a defender myself and someone yourself who may play football, you're going to be a bit concerned, aren't you? You're going to want to make sure your performance is good. And maybe Romero feels that bit too much responsibility. I think he gets really frustrated as well in the game. He just needs just a weekly meditation session, really. I'll volunteer for free.
Can you imagine? Yeah. I was in the players' changing rooms earlier, right? I don't know why they don't have his headphones have meditation.
Romero has ability to be up there the very best. I was having a conversation with Spurs fan today. They're going, "What, you think the Van Dijk and Saliba are the best two centre backs ahead of Romero?" Yeah, because they keep their heads and look at Liverpool and Arsenal top of the league for a reason. They've got calm, controlled centre back. Yeah. I know Van Dijk, what was it, last season, early on the season, got sent off for a yellow card in the summit against Newcastle, but generally he does keep control. Saliba at the moment, I hate to admit it, but he's the example of what, lots of clubs need, including Tottenham. He's an all-round defender, and again, great recruitment from Arsenal.
Yeah, so now we're going to go to team lineup before we get score predictions at the end. So what's your lineup for Brighton tomorrow, Harry? If you would.
Well, it's changing at the moment because every day seems to be a new player out.
A new injury.
New injury, great, a new player out. At the moment, it stands obviously Vicario in goal, Doggy coming back in left back, Porro right back. Centre backs for me would be Davis and Phillips. I'd like to see Phillips in there, give it a go. I like Emerson, but I don't really want him to be able to deal with the likes of Welbeck and Pedro. Pedro.
Pedro,
yeah. I've got my fancy team. Don't into the well, let's be very clear there. But I think that he will struggle with pace against them, whereas I think Phillips will have that because Brighton are going to play with pace. They haven't got that physical, that presence. They haven't got a skillful player in Matoma. So yeah, my back line, like I said, a Doggy, Porro, Davis and Phillips. Phillips making his debut. Three in midfield where it gets interesting, I suppose. Kulusevski, Sarr. This is where I get stuck. And Højbjerg, I think I like to put Højbjerg in there. I think it's his type of game. And the front three, isn't it obvious? Richarlison up front, Son on the left, and Johnson on the right.
Sorry, you said Son on the left, Johnson on the right, and Richarlison up front. Of course, right? Yeah. I'd probably go with something similar because I don't think we have many other options. And after Skip's performance last time, I'd rather see Højbjerg, and I was hoping maybe he's resting Højbjerg for this game, hopefully. I'd go with the same lineup as you. I don't see any changes or wild changes. You could potentially, I guess, sounds weird, like move around the front three maybe, or put Kulusevski in the front three and put Lo Celso in. And Lo Celso did do well when he came on.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and I've been unfair maybe on him in the past. I wasn't for the signing, but I think that at the moment he's really giving himself a fighting chance. He's come in, done well, good off the bench. He's just, for me, I still don't think that he will have his place, etc. next season. I think that injuries will wait. He'll be one of those players where injuries sadly get the better of him. And I'm not going to doubt that Lo Celso doesn't have the potential. I just haven't seen that special something in him. I think he's really good, but I think that there is better out there. I hope I'm wrong. But whenever he's been called upon this season, he's put an unbelievable effort in with our injury problems as well. Very, very handy.
He's right. He's right. Because Porro is the only one who's actually stayed fit and non-suspensions.
Credit to him.
Yeah.
He's been excellent as well.
So as we're also halfway, Harry, I know this is not one of the things. I wanted to ask you personally, who's your player of the season so far?
Oh, what, this currently fit or not?
And then we'll go into the score prediction. Just give
Do
me
they have to be fit?
No. Anyone. I know. Yeah.
Well, it would have been like Van der Ven or Madison at the start of the season, but there's no way I can give them now because I haven't seen them for ages. That's just not fair.
Because we're basically halfway through. This is game week 19, which is like
for me, it's between two individuals, and it's Porro, I think, who's been excellent, by the way. His performance has gone under the radar, improving game by game, or the one that I'm going to go with in Vicario. I can't, listen, I've had my go at the board along with a load of others, over the months and years, previous transfer windows. I've called out poor recruitment or lack of investment, usually poor recruitment. But Vicario, immense signing, immense business. He was labelled the cheap option, dismissed after one preseason game and the first game of the season against Brentford. And that was just unfair. So it's great to see him just silence those doubters, prove people wrong. And ultimately, we saved money on David Raya and got the better goalkeeper. Could be happen to a better side as well, being at Arsenal. So I'm very happy with that. And Vicario is my player of the season so far.
See, for me, like you, I would have put Van der Ven or Madison, but they're injured. But you know who I think's been our player of the season? Papa Matasar, in my opinion.
Yeah, big contender. Basuma, ability would be up there, but because the amount of suspensions he's got, he's not even in my top 10. So sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. But for me, Sarr, without him, our midfield doesn't look anywhere near as good. I think we coped okay without Basuma. We've kind of plugged the gap a little bit. Like, because has come in and done a job instead of Madison. To be fair to him, he's playing a number 10 in like a slightly different way, but he's doing a good job. But I noticed without Sarr, our midfield looks so different. Like, the legs aren't there. People forget the amount of ground Sarr covers to cover the players going forward because, as you know, we're playing an ultra-attacking system. So you kind of need the legs for it. And I just think whenever he's coming, I can't remember a game he's actually played badly, if I'm being honest, Harry. He's the only player who, even from the first kick of the season, I don't remember him having a bad patch so far, touch wood. And I think...
look at that pass, Palace, I'll never forget. And that brilliance from Johnson. How amazing was that goal? And that's prime Sarr. Can carry the ball. Very good defensively. A player who grows in confidence, massively ahead of where he should be at his age. When the team were awful, it's fair to say, and that's been kind last season. And we were awful, for example, against Milan in the North London derby. He shone. Play on the pitch. Despite we were outclassing the game, he's better than anyone else on that pitch. At his age as well, incredible. Him and Skip in particular in that midfield against Milan, and then Sarr as an individual against Arsenal. And so I always kind of looked at him and went, wow, this is a player. But then we never really saw him again after that. So I don't know why he wasn't introduced, and just seen something in him that we've, I don't know, kind of been waiting for. So it's been great to see him in that midfield. And that's, for me, been our strongest part of this season, our midfield, just giving us the balance defensively. But we haven't, not being funny with our centre-backs fit, haven't conceded that many goals, and also been really creative. We've got that stability. And anyone would tell you, for example, Everton's success at the moment for me is down to the stability and everything they've got in that midfield. And as that comment says there, Sarr has been immense, and then he has to be a huge contender up there with you, Poros, your Vicarios as well.
I think we need to tie him down to a new contract, if I'm being honest, Harry, because in a year or two time, someone big's gonna come sniffing for him. Like, even someone like, I hate to say it, Man City, because this kid has potential, like Adochi as well, to just be incredible. Like, obviously, this is his first.
How far do you think Sarr can go, Has? Where you going to set like a barrier, if you like? What do you think is achievable?
I think anything is achievable with him. But whether he's going to be like a number 10, I don't think so from early doors. Like, I don't think so. But I see him more. I know a lot of people comparing Basuma to Moussa Dembele, right? I actually see Sarr as more of that sort of player from what I've seen, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think Basuma can carry the ball, but I think Sarr's actually better. So Sarr's just, honestly, the only thing he needs to do, I think, just to bridge the gap between, and maybe this will come in time anyway, is more goals and assists. If he can add that to his game, he could be one of the best in the world as a central midfielder. Yeah, he has the pace, he has the height, he has the strength.
With him. It's one of those players you look at and go, right, you're 2 years ahead of where you should be. This is really exciting. And for me, it's a case of, and I don't want to, I don't know, kind of turn this into negative because it absolutely isn't. But it's a case of, for me, don't want him to play too many minutes. It was like with Saka with Arsenal, for example, last season where he got rest at times because he's young, he's ahead of where he should be, and they want to protect him. They don't want him to get a really bad injury. For me, Sar's been great, but at the end of the day, it'll be great when we can have a fully fit midfield because we can interchange the likes of Bentancur and Sar, etc. Basuma with suspension. So Sar's great. I think he needs to be gradually
protected,
just because he's the first team here, but with a fully fit, Maddison, Bentancur, Basuma, Sar getting that team, I think he goes in and out of the team, which could benefit him as a player.
See, I really want to see a midfield three of Bentancur, Sar, and Maddison. That's the three I really want to see because
that's the three that I want, and I love Basuma, but at the end of the day, you've got to keep a cool, calm head. And
they are looking at him.
Sounds good. Tell me more about him. Who's news? Do you tell me? I mean,
he's doing some transfer guru. Yeah,
we've got some good information there. So, asking who's news. Assuming you're a Tottenham fan. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
This good or
who do you want us to sign in January?
Yeah. Who do you? I know this is what you think is going to happen. Who do you want us to sign? Okay, so let's see what he says. Oh, Spurs Live. Hey, Josh, you're right, mate. You're right, Josh.
Nice to see you.
Spurs Live, Josh. It might be Josh. So, score prediction for tomorrow, Harry.
I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1.
I think it's be a draw, hard game. I'll take a point right now with our injury problems.
See, I'm quite similar. I'm going 2-2.
I was stuck between 1-1 and 2-2 this morning, but I went with 1-1.
I think. Sorry, which Harry? We're both called Harry.
After this.
We're both called Harry. Do you mean Harry Scarf or do you mean me? Because we're both called Harry.
Oh, of course, yeah. Which one?
Josh, who do you mean? Both of you. Okay.
Both of you, whenever.
Send me a message and we'll.
I'd love to come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the positivity as well, mate.
Yeah. No, Josh is brilliant. I haven't been on the show, but I watched quite a
bit. I haven't been on, but I've watched bits and I really like the content.
But if we're both saying a draw, Harry, why don't you think we'll go in there and win like we did last season?
Because this is a different Brighton team that we're facing. This is a Brighton team that needs a result. This is a Brighton team that will be encouraged by what they've done in Europe. This is a Brighton team that wants to make a statement. This is a Tottenham team going into the game with not a lot of players that are fit. And that is an issue. We won 3 games in a row. I don't want to say it's going to be a catastrophe until like February, but at this moment in time, it's going to be a bumpy ride. For me, it's a case of points here. Can we get a point here and there? And this is the type of game where you go in the end, 10 crucial injuries, where Brighton.
Who's missing from Josh? Who's missing from them? Can you just let us know in the comments?
Brighton.
Yeah.
I know that Lamptey's missing. I know that Mitoma's missing. There's a load of ones like that. Ferguson is back. Our attacks is better. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think that Brighton will still look dangerous tomorrow. It's whether they can put the ball in the back of net. Lamptey, there you go. I like Lamptey.
Yeah. Is Ferguson fit? That's the question.
Ferguson is fit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ferguson's fit. They've got Cisco's another one. Yeah, they've got a few. They have got. To be fair, they've got injuries like we have, if not worse. So that is definitely not an excuse. But I don't think it'll be easy, and we can take a point. I think we'll be better than nothing. Always a point of view. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the aim of the game. But if you can't, as Conte said, if you can't win a game, make sure you don't lose it.
It's going to be a very tough game tomorrow, especially because we're playing such quick succession, and then we've got obviously New Year's Eve, and after tomorrow we've got New Year's Eve, so 3 days later. So I think he's going to have to play Højbjerg because he played Skip last time. So if you can rotate them at least, get some rest out of them.
I would agree.
Yeah. So just before we'll go, please subscribe to my channel, Hotspur TV, and obviously Scarfy Spurs Talk. If you haven't done it already, review content every week on both channels and on this channel. I'm not sure if we'll be back on the Friday preview show because I don't know if I'm busy or not that day, unless it's like a very early show. I don't know if you can do like midday or something.
Well, next Friday.
Yeah.
So not this week, next week, in the new year.
No. As in this Friday coming up, because we normally do the preview show right on a Friday because we're playing on the Saturday is New Year's Eve.
Oh, cool.
So unless we do it really early, I don't know what time I can do it that day because I'm meant to be going somewhere at 5:00. Thanks, Josh.
Friday. I'm free most of the day Friday, I think.
Yeah, unless we do an early one, I'll speak to Marlon about it. Do like an early one, like 2 o'clock or something.
Anyway, yeah, we can discuss that. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You can find us at Scarfy Spurs Talk. I don't know if you're streaming on Mondays again still, or is it because of Christmas time you're not? I don't know.
Yeah, there's no Monday. No, ignore me, idiot. There is one Monday. New Year. I've got
obviously, Josh is saying happy birthday as well.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. I'm getting old now, aren't I? I've got Davina
oh my God.
on Monday. Sorry, everyone. He's obviously popular on Twitter. I've got Spurs YouTuber Dante HFC on. I've got Pav from Paxton Road TV and regular on the show, Travis. So it should be a good show Monday. Perfect one for the new year as well. If you're looking to buy yourself a late Christmas present or a New Year present, then I am selling my own channel merch. If you're interested, drop me a message and I'll send you the link for affordable prices this Christmas on quality gear. And also, last thing, you can get your name and number for free. Message me Spurs Live. We can sort it out in the new year.
So also TJ isn't here. So guys, Crisis Spurs, he talks to you out already.
Nice guy. That's a load of rubbish, but go John.
Nice chat's a load of rubbish.
Great guy. Okay. Love space with him. He does talk some sense. I love his insightful kind of knowledge and analysis, different point of view. He wants to play Emerson in midfield. Need I say anymore?
He's probably watching this and cursing now. But anyway, you said that. Yeah. So before we leave, come on, you Spurs. Anything else you want to say, Harry?
No, just a massive thank you. Thank you for all the birthday messages.
Please tune in, guys. And please subscribe to this channel as well. I know we shouted out everyone else.
Don't watch Harry. You don't want to watch him. You've got better things to do.
don't watch Marlon.
We'll be back. We're pretty much on every week, aren't we?
So Marlon should be live tomorrow after the game. I'm not too sure what time. But come back here for the match reaction.
We might be on that.
Yeah, we might be not. I haven't decided. Yeah. I might be going, but I am going to watch the game because I don't have Amazon Prime, but I have gone somewhere else to watch it, so it's not a problem. Yeah.
Oh really? Oh, okay.
It's on Greek. It's on Greek TV.
So. Once a year, it's around Christmas, New Year. You pay this. Like I pay it, and then I think, it's only once or twice.
You know they were offering a 30-day free trial, so maybe you could do that.
I've already done that.
Did you? All right.
Last year.
No, normally I'm lucky because there's only 2 games on. It's on Greek channel, so I'm watching it on there. Greek commentary, but it doesn't really matter to me. So as long as I get to watch the game and I don't have to. Also, Amazon Prime. No disrespect.
Good thing if you don't see it.
The stream isn't that great on Amazon Prime. Sometimes it cuts out a lot. I don't know why. Like it's a bit iffy.
By the way, I prefer the commentary and punditry on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's better than Sky, and I really don't like TNT Sports. I despise that.
No, ever since Jake Humphrey left, I don't watch TNT.
It's just really bad.
Yeah, I used to like it when Jake Humphrey hosted it. I think he was a very good host. I think they haven't really recovered from that. And I'm not saying that they haven't done a good job since, etc. I like Prime Video at the moment. I think their commentary is very good. And they just the way they do things, like they have their little at the top of the screen, how many subs are left. They're just little things like that. They're for me really ahead of it. The adverts are a lot shorter, but I prefer the commentary. But who cares as long as we win?
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's commentating as long as we win. Let's be honest. So before we guys go, come on, you Spurs.
Up Spurs.